Okay, so let me go over here for a second. Some of these really are in Revelations are just. It's like you don't want to live through Revelations. You don't like just listen to this for a minute. All right. The second angel sounded, and something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea, and a third of the sea became blood, and a third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. Then the third angel sounded, and a great star fell from heaven, burning like a torch, and it fell on the third of the rivers, on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood. A third of the waters became wormwood, and many men died from the water because it was made bitter. So yeah, pretty much God's going to poison the water, and most people who drink from it are going to die in tribulation. So yeah, that's insane. I guess it goes with uh, the famine. It goes with the famine. Like God's going to create famine. You know, like there won't be. It'll be hard to find food. God's even going to poison the water. So fresh water, you won't be able to find that. Then the fourth angel sounded, and a third of the sun was struck, and a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of them were darkened. A third of the day did not shine, and likewise the night is okay. The night, and I looked, and I heard an angel flying through the mist of heaven, saying with a loud voice, "Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, because of the remaining blast of the trumpet of the three angels who are about to sound." And then the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star falling from heaven to the earth. To him was given the key to the bottomless pit, and he opened the bottomless pit, and smoke arose out of the pit like the smoke of a great furnace. So the sun and the air were darkened because of the smoke of the pit. That's insane. And some of the smoke locust. Here we go. The locusts. I heard about this. Like this is one of the big reasons you don't want to live through tribulation. This is the one right here. Then out of the smoke locusts came upon the earth, and to them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. They were commanded not to harm the grass of the earth, or any green thing, or any tree, but only those men who did not have the seal of God on their foreheads, and they were not given authority to kill them, but to torment them for 5 months. Ouch! And remember, you can't die because this is already tribulation. You can't die in this this by this time period. That I do know. Their torment was like the torment of a scorpion when it strikes a man. In these days, men will seek death, and there we go. Yeah, men will seek death. Man will seek death, and will not find it. They will desire to die, and death will flee from them. Yeah, so I'm guessing that means no matter what you do, you can you can blow your brains out, you can shoot your heart out, you can cut yourself. It ain't gonna matter. So I wonder what it would be like if somebody were to. Oh, that's right. I forgot. The only way you can die is you gotta get your head chopped off. That's probably the only way. But that's gonna be, that's one of the sacrifice parts you gotta do for God. But I think that's the only way you can die. It's got to be your head from your body. That's it. Any other way, I remember you can't die. You won't be able to die if I remember correctly. You can't die. In these days, men will seek death and will not find it, and they will desire to die, and death will flee them from them. The ship of the locusts was like horses prepared for battle. On their heads were crowns of the things like gold, and their faces were like the faces of men. Wow. They had their head like their hair like women's hair, and their teeth were like lions' teeth. That is insane. Imagine getting bit by that. Oh, wow. Imagine getting bit by that. And they had breastplates, like breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was like the sound of chariots with many horses running into battle. They had tails like scorpions, and they were stings in their tails. I think they mean stingers. Their power was to hurt men 5 months. I'm pretty sure when he means men, pretty sure he means mankind, men and women. You know, all those. I'm pretty sure when it says that, obviously, and they had as king over them the angels of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, Abaddon, but in Greek he has the name Apollyon. Or is it Apollo? That's not Apollo. It's Apollyon. Apollyon. One woe is passed behind. Still, two more woes are coming after these. And I remember, and this is just, and this whole locust thing. That's just the beginning of tribulation. That's just for 5 months. That's only the beginning part. That is just insane. This is even before the Antichrist comes out. Yeah, before he starts doing all his stuff. That's just this. It's insane. No wonder they say you don't want to be here for this. You don't want to be here. One word is okay, pal. It's two more woes are coming after these things, and then the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the sixth angel who had the trumpet, release the four angels and who were bound at the great river. So the four angels who had been prepared for the hour and day and month year were released to kill a third of mankind. Wow, kill a third of mankind. That's insane. It's insanity. Now the number of the army of the horsemen whose was 200 million. I heard the number of them, and thus I saw the horses in the vision. Those who sat on them had breastplates of the four red, what is that, blue, sulfur, yellow, and the heads of the horses were like the heads of lions, and of their mouth came fire, smoke, and brimstone. By these their plagues, and a third of mankind was killed. Plagues by the fire and the smoke and the brimstone which came out of their mouths. Dang. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails are like serpents, having heads with them, and they do harm. But the rest of mankind who were not killed by these plagues did not repent. Like, how? See, that part's insane. Like, you have all this happening to you, and you still don't kneel down to God, and you know what I mean, in Jesus Christ. You still, how can you not do that? I don't understand. You got all this happening to you. That just proves to you how egotistical people are, how humans are. After all that, people will still not bow down. They went through all that crazy, painful stuff, and they still won't bow down to God. That's insane. That's what they're saying right here in Revelations in this part. It's ego, the egotistical. That's what they mean. The egotistical people. They will still not bow down. So that's insane. That is just. No wonder they say, what was it, like 2/3, or is it three thirds? Two thirds of humanity will be burnt. Will go to hell. Now I see why. It's just, man. But the rest of mankind who were not killed by these plagues did not repent of their works of their hands, and they should not worship demons and idols of gold and silver and stone, which can neither see nor walk, and they did not repent of their murders, of their sorcerers. I don't know. I think if they were, I think. Let me go back to that for a second. Either I think it was talking about either they after them Yeah, it did say, it said most of mankind will not repent. Okay, so that means it's talking about when, because I was thinking maybe they were talking about when they were dead already and they didn't repent. No, I think they were talking when they said this. I think they meant that most of mankind, after all the pain they endured, they still wouldn't kneel down. I think that's exactly what that means because I don't see anything that says after death. So that's what it is. Yeah. So it's just, it's telling us that the ego, most humanity will go down because of their egos. Which honestly, it makes sense. You see this every day with people. I'm just saying. You see the egotistical side of people. You see it every day. I mean, look, I'm not perfect either. I do have my ego side, but I try to control that. You know what I mean? And I try to repent for my that stupid ego side. Most will not even kneel down or bow down or even repent for that. They just won't. So like again, I'm not perfect. I'm part of these sinners. I'm part of this. You know what I mean? Murders or their murders I haven't done yet, but I have not murdered anybody. Or their sorceries or their sexual immorality. Yeah, well, sexual stuff I've done. Let's be honest. How many of us have done that? You know what I mean? Sexual immorality. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie in front of God. But yeah, I'm just as guilty. I'm just as guilty. So I'm not perfect, but I try to repent. That's the difference. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there for now. You all have a good night. I'll talk to you soon.